And welcome my dear friends and students. Now in today's video I am going to start the third part of the second chapter, that is the surface tension. Now here, before considering what do you mean by surface tension, now let us consider some phenomena of the surface tension. Now this surface tension is the property shown by liquid which is at rest. This is the property shown only by the liquid which is at a rest position. So that's why I write here the first point as surface tension is the important property shown by liquid at rest. So when we consider some phenomena which are found around us, that are the phenomena which are related to this property, that is the surface tension. Let us consider the first example, that is small insects like water spider can walk, can cripple on the surface of water which is steady. So that insect can walk on the surface of water because of the property called as surface tension. When we consider a grease needle, thin grease needle, and when it is kept on the water surface, though the density of this needle is greater, it float on the water surface. Similarly, that is the blade or razor, metal razor, when placed on the water surface, it also float on the water surface because of the surface tension. And when we consider the shape of the liquid drop, that is water or mercury, or when we consider the shape of the soap bubble or shape of any liquid drop, then it has the spherical shape because of the surface tension. So these are the three phenomena which are related to the same property, that is the surface tension. Now before considering what do you mean by surface tension, let us consider some basic definition. The first definition you have to keep in mind related to this topic, that is the intermolecular force of attraction. Now inter means between. From the name we can find the meaning of that intermolecular force of attraction. This is simply the force of attraction between any two molecules. When we consider the two molecules, we know that matter consists of large number of molecules. Now when we consider the two molecules, then the force with which they attract each other, that force is called as intermolecular force of attraction. And when we consider these three states of matter, solid, liquid and gaseous state, this intermolecular force of attraction is maximum in case of solid and minimum in case of the gas. It is moderate in case of the liquid. So only because of the strong intermolecular force of attraction, solid possesses the definite shape. We already know. So intermolecular force is simply the force of attraction between any two molecules. Now depending upon whether that molecules are of same substance or are of different substances, there are two types of the intermolecular force. Now this intermolecular force is called as short range force. Now why this force is called as short range force? Because this is the force which is effective only when distance between two molecules is of the order of 10 to the power minus 9 meter, that is the nanometer, or 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. When the distance between two molecules is of the order of 10 to the power minus 9 meter or 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter, then only this force of attraction exists. So this is a very short distance up to which that intermolecular force is effective. That's why this force is called as short range force. Now depending upon whether we are considering the molecules of same substance or whether we are considering the molecule of different substances. There are two types of intermolecular force, that is cohesive force. So cohesive force is simply the force of attraction between two molecules of same substance. Between two molecules of same substance. For example, when we consider two water molecules, then the force of attraction between two water molecules, or when we consider the force of attraction between two glass molecules, then the force of attraction between two water molecules or between two glass molecules called as a cohesive force. And opposite is the case when we consider the force of attraction between two molecules of different substances. That force of attraction is called as the adhesive force. For example, the force of attraction between glass molecule and water molecule, the force of attraction between ink molecule and paper molecule, the force of attraction between chalk molecule and that is board molecule. So this is the example of adhesive force. Now if we consider the property, then this property is called as cohesion. The property of attraction between two molecules of same substance called as cohesion. The property of attraction between two molecules of different substance, that is called as the adhesion. Now here I am able to write with the help of this pen on this whiteboard only because of adhesive force. Teacher is able to write on the blackboard with the help of chalk because of the force of attraction between chalk molecules and that board molecules. Here I write with the help of ink. So that's why there exists the force of attraction between ink molecule and this board molecule. When student write on notebook, then there exists the force of attraction between ink and the paper molecules. So these are the certain definition you have to keep in mind. Now let us consider the next definition, that is the range of molecular force of attraction. Now this word is familiar to us, range. We always use this word related to the mobile. I have no range of mobile. It means here when we consider the mobile range, it is the maximum distance between transmitter and receiver. That is the range. Similar to that of when we consider the distance between two molecules up to which that intermolecular force is effective, that distance is called as the range. Simply range means distance. It is the maximum distance. So that's why I write here the maximum distance between two molecules up to which intermolecular force of attraction is effective is called a range of molecular force. We already discussed intermolecular force exists only when distance between two molecules is of the order of 10 to the power minus 9 meter or 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. It means this maximum distance is nothing but the range of molecular force. Simply range is the maximum distance between two molecules up to which that intermolecular force of attraction, that may be adhesive, that may be cohesive depending upon the nature of molecules, whether they are of same substance or whether they are of different substances. So that is the range of molecular force. Then consider the next definition, sphere of influence. If you consider a single molecule, by considering this single molecule as a center, if we consider an imaginary sphere around that molecule with its radius equal to molecular range, then this sphere is called as the sphere of influence. So that's why right here it is an imaginary sphere. We just imagine this is the sphere around the molecule by considering molecule as a center and molecular range as a radius. Then consider the next definition. What do you mean by surface field? Where we consider the liquid in any container, then we have to consider certain layer of liquid below the free surface whose thickness is equal to this range of molecular force. Now this liquid layer below the free surface with the thickness equal to molecular range is nothing but the surface field. That's why right here the surface layer of a liquid, these are the different layers of liquid below the free surface having the thickness equal to a range of intermolecular force, that is nothing but the surface field. I draw here the diagram and this shaded region gives us the surface field. Then we have to consider again one definition, that is the free surface of liquid. Now here we considering the two media, that is air and water. Now whatever the interface between that two media, air and water, that interface is nothing but the free surface of liquid. So it is the surface of liquid which does not experience any shear stress. All of you know what do you mean by stress? It is the ratio of force acting per unit area. When we apply some tangential force on the particular surface area, because of which there is change in shape of that body, so that stress is called as the shear stress. So this is the layer of the liquid which does not experience any shear stress, and that surface is nothing but the free surface of liquid. Simply it is the boundary between two media, that is air and water. Above this line there is a medium, that is air, and below this line there is a medium, that is water. So this boundary line which separates that two media is nothing but the free surface of the liquid. So these are the general definition which we have to keep in mind before considering what do you mean by surface tension. Now let us consider what do you mean by surface tension. Now let us consider the surface tension. We can define surface tension in two different ways. The first definition is whatever the force that is applied tangentially on the line which is drawn on free surface of liquid, that force per unit length is nothing but the surface tension. What I say? It is the tangential force acting per unit length on both sides of the line. It is also the imaginary line drawn on free surface of liquid, that is called as the surface tension. When we consider the free surface of the liquid and when we draw, this is an imaginary line drawn on free surface. Now the tangential force acting on both sides of that imaginary line to the total length of that imaginary line, that is nothing but the surface tension. Simply it is keep in mind surface tension T equal to F by L, where F is a tangential force which is acting on both sides of the imaginary line, and L is the length of that imaginary line. So that's why right here tangential force acting per unit length on both sides of an imaginary line drawn on free surface of liquid, that is called as surface tension. It is given by T equal to F by L. Now from this formula we have the SI unit of surface tension is Newton per meter. Force is measured in Newton, length in meter. CGS unit, that is dyne per centimeter. So this is the SI and CGS unit of surface tension. Now let us consider the another definition of the surface tension. Now it is the surface energy. Now what is surface energy? We have to explain later on, but just consider its definition. That is the extra energy, potential energy of the liquid molecule in the surface layer. That is called as the surface energy. And that surface energy per unit area of the free surface of liquid, that is also called as the surface tension. So simply it is denoted by T equal to E by, where E is the surface energy and A is the area. Now from this formula we have the SI unit for surface tension, that is equal to joule per meter square, and CGS unit, that is R per centimeter square. Now though the same physical quantity possesses the two units, that is Newton per meter and here joule per meter square, but from that two formulae whatever the dimensions that are to be found out, that is same. It means every physical quantity that has the same dimension, though it has the different unit related to the how that physical quantity that get defined. We define here T equal to F by L. That's why its SI unit is Newton per meter. And when we define T equal to E by A, so here its SI unit is joule per meter square. Now let us find out the dimension from this formula. Force upon length, the dimension of force, that is equal to L1 M1 T minus 2, and here you have to write simply L1. If we move this bracket in numerator, then we have, that is L to the power 0, M to the power 1, T to the power minus 2. Now consider the dimension from this formula. Energy is nothing but the work done. Work done is the product of force and displacement. That's why you have to write the dimension of work and dimension of area. Dimension of work, that is L to the power 2, M to the power 1, T to the power minus 2. And dimension of area, that is L square. So we can cancel this L square, that is equal to here dimension L to the power 0, M to the power 1, T to the power minus 2. So dimensions of a surface tension, that is same, though we derived from this formula T equal to F by L, or from this formula T equal to E by L. So from these two basic definition we can define what we mean by surface tension. Later on we have to prove this relation, that is T equal to E by A. This is the relation between surface energy and surface tension. Now let us explain this phenomenon on the basis of very important theory, that is the molecular theory of surface tension. Now let us consider a very important topic from this related portion, that is the surface tension. Explanation of surface tension on the basis of molecular theory. This question asked for the 3 marks in our board exam. There is explanation of surface tension on the basis of molecular theory. So for that we have to consider one liquid, that is the water, which is taken in a container. So that's why I write here the first point is consider some liquid, that is the water, which is taken in a container. Now here you have to consider three liquid molecules, that is A, B and C, with their sphere of influence. So here we consider three liquid molecules which are drawn with the help of that blue pen, that is A, B and C. Now we are just considering this single molecule. This molecule A, this molecule B and this molecule C with the sphere of influence. Now we have to consider the position also. Now let us consider the position of their three molecules. They are not present at the same place and at the same height. So that's why right here we have to consider these three liquid molecules A, B, C with their sphere of influence at the different positions. Now how they are at the different positions, so that can be explained by considering these 3 points, that is for molecule A, for molecule B and for molecule C. Now let us concentrate on for molecule A. Now this is the molecule which is completely in a liquid with all its sphere of influence lies inside the liquid. That's why right here it lies, molecule A completely lies inside the liquid in such a way that its total sphere of influence is present in the liquid. That's why this liquid molecule A is equally attracted by the other liquid molecules. What I say, as this liquid molecule A is well inside the liquid, its sphere of influence is present totally inside the liquid. That's why this liquid molecule that will be attracted by other liquid molecules with the same force. That's why the resultant cohesive force act on the molecule A, that is 0. So that's why right here it lies completely inside the liquid in such a way that its sphere of influence is present inside the liquid. So it is equally attracted by the other liquid molecules. Hence the resultant cohesive force acting on the molecule A is 0. Now consider the second molecule B. This molecule B is just below the free surface of liquid. Now in such a way that its small part of the sphere of influence is in air and most of the part of the sphere of influence inside the water. That's why here some of the force. So this is the sphere of influence for the liquid molecule B. This is the part which is present in air. Now here this is the liquid molecule B. Now on that liquid molecule B, these are the two cohesive forces acting on other liquid molecule. Now they are not equal in magnitude. The force which is acting in upward direction, that is smaller than the force which is acting in downward direction. So for every other pair also, small part of the cohesive force act in upward direction and more cohesive force that will be acting downward direction. That's why total cohesive force that is not cancelled in case of the liquid molecule B. Most of the cohesive force that will act in downward direction. So that's why here some cohesive force act on the molecule B in which direction? In downward direction. So that's why right here molecule B, it just lies below the free surface of liquid in such a way that small part of the sphere of influence is in air and most of the part of sphere of influence is in water. Now because of this small part, there exists here adhesive force, because in that small part there are some air molecules, but this adhesive force is very small as compared to the cohesive force. That's why this adhesive force cannot be taken into consideration. We consider here only one type of force, that is the cohesive force. Some of the pairs of the cohesive force that cancel the effect of cohesive force which is acting in downward direction, but not completely. That's why some of the cohesive force act on the molecule B. Now consider the third molecule, that is the molecule C. Now this C molecule is present on the free surface of liquid. Now this molecule C is present on the free surface in such a way that half sphere of influence is in air and half sphere of influence is in water. Now though the half sphere of influence is present in air and half sphere of influence present in water, then what about the cohesive force and what about the adhesive force? Now in upper half part of the sphere of influence there are certain air molecules, and in half lower part of the sphere of influence these are the liquid molecules. Now here though half part is in air and half part is in water, whatever the adhesive and cohesive forces that are acting on the molecule C, that are not equal. Here in upper half few air molecules are present, and in lower half the liquid molecules that are present in greater number than the air molecules which are present in upper half, because you know that the distance between air molecules and the distance between liquid molecules, the distance between liquid molecule is less than the distance between air molecule. That's why though the portion is same, half portion, but the number of air molecules present in upper half less than the number of water molecules present in lower half. And that's why here only the cohesive force that act in downward direction. So maximum cohesive force act on the molecule C. So that's why right here the molecule C is present on free surface of the liquid in such a way that half sphere of influence is in air and half sphere of influence is in water. Now though half sphere is in air and half is in water, but these forces are not equal in magnitude because less number of air molecules that are present in lower half. Maximum cohesive force act on the molecule C in downward direction. So in order to move further, let us quickly revise. We just consider a liquid which is taken in a container. Consider three liquid molecules with their sphere of influence at the three different positions. Then here explain one by one position of that molecule, sphere of influence, how that sphere of influence, whether it is totally present inside the liquid or some part is in air and some part is in liquid. So that's why we describe here for molecule A, it is completely inside the liquid. That's why it is equally attracted by the other liquid molecule. Hence, the resultant cohesive force acting on the molecule A is 0. The molecule B is just below the free surface of liquid. That's why only small part of the sphere of influence is in air and most of the part is present in a water. That's why some of the cohesive force act on the molecule B in downward direction. Now consider the molecule C. Though the half of the molecule, half of the sphere of influence is in air and half of the sphere of influence in water, but because of unequal number of air and water molecules, maximum cohesive force acts on the molecule C in downward direction. Now from the above discussion, it is very clear that the molecules which are present on the free surface or within surface field that experience the maximum cohesive force in downward direction. So that's why right here from the above discussion it is clear that the maximum cohesive force acts on the molecule which are on the free surface or within the surface field. Now in order to increase the surface area, now if these liquid molecules are brought from here bottom to top, in order to increase the surface area, if the molecules which are present well inside the liquid that are brought to the surface, then we have to perform certain work done. Why? Because the liquid molecules which are present on free surface, on that molecules maximum cohesive force acts in downward direction, and we are moving these molecules in upward direction against that of the cohesive force. So that's why some work has to be done against that cohesive force. Now when these liquid molecules move from bottom to top, because of change in its position, that liquid molecule has different potential energy. So that's why right here, because of this work done, because of the change in position of the liquid molecule from bottom to top, their potential energy goes on increasing. So that's why right here, this work done increases the potential energy of the molecules. Now, but liquid has tendency to have the minimum potential energy because of motion of these liquid molecules from bottom to top. The surface energy increases. But liquid has natural tendency to have the minimum potential energy. In order to attain the minimum potential energy, that liquid has to occupy the minimum surface area. Now that's why to attain the minimum potential energy, this liquid surface tries to reduce the number of molecules which are present in free surface. Now how that liquid molecules which are present in free surface that get reduced? Just by occupying the minimum area. So because of this tendency of liquid surface behaves like a stretched elastic membrane. This tendency of free surface of the liquid to have the minimum surface area, to contract it and behaves as a stretched elastic membrane. This behavior of liquid surface gives us the important property called as the surface tension. This is how we can explain the surface tension on the basis of molecular theory. In this molecular theory, you have to just consider three liquid molecules at three different positions. You have to discuss the sphere of influence for that three molecules. You have to discuss the forces acting on that molecules. Then when these liquid molecules that are moved from bottom to top, whatever the change in potential energy in that molecules, here but liquid has tendency to have the minimum potential energy. That's why here that free surface of the liquid try to occupy the minimum surface area just by contracting. So this tendency of the free surface of liquid to behave like a stretched elastic membrane gives us the important property called as a surface tension.